Right now, 800,000 federal workers are furloughed until this is all over, and we've been telling you their stories. Tonight, I want you to meet one of them. Her name is Kim. She's a stay-at-home mom with two sons, 5 and 8 years old. Her husband is a federal worker who's been furloughed, and she posted a very powerful letter to Washington on the CNN iReport page. I want you to hear some of it. Here's what she writes. I'd like to know what to tell my children. I'd like to explain to them why mommy and daddy are so stressed. I'd like to tell them that our government is here to take care of us, that they're nice people who care for us. But right now, I would be lying if I told our young sons that. Well, Kim, she joins me now on the phone. Kim, thanks for being here. I know it's a rough time. You don't know how long this is going to last. First, I want to ask you how your family is handling all this.
Well, thank you so much, Lynn. We're handling it probably just like every other family at this point. We're taking one day at a time, doing a lot of praying, and I know we've been gluing our eyes to the news every day since this has been happening. We're waiting any kind of signs of progress. Just glimmers of hope at this point is what we're looking for, that people are starting to move and starting to realize that this is wrong and that it has to end.
And that there are real people being affected. You're one of them. This letter really touched us because I want to read a little bit more about it. You talk about your 8-year-old saying, our 8-year-old wants to know why the president can't do something to stop the shutdown. We're trying to explain how our government works. Our son wanted to know if his school would be shut down. He asked us how much money we had. Kim, you know, you said yourself, these aren't things children should even have to think about. How have you explained this to your sons?
Exactly. It's been very difficult. In fact, that day he was sitting there watching the news with us, and our 5-year-old, he didn't catch a lot of it, and we were glad, but our 8-year-old, he's very smart, and he was picking up, and he was just so perplexed. What is a shutdown? How do you shut down the government? And his very next question about the president, why can't the president do something? I thought it was interesting because at that point he didn't know yet why all of this was happening. He just knew something was happening, and it sounded wrong to him. In the simplest, childlike way, it sounded like it was wrong, and why couldn't someone like the president do something to fix it? So when he was asking about his school, you could tell his little mind was racing, and he was trying to process, does this mean my school is also included? And asking about money and how much money we had. I know he had caught some tensions between my husband and I. We were starting to get very nervous the closer this got to that midnight deadline prior to the 1st. So he was picking up on that, and I think that's what really prompted me to write those words that I did, because my children are my first priority, and what is happening now is interfering with my job as mommy, and it's, you know, that's a point where I'm speaking out because I see that it has a lot of impact on them, and I'm sure we're just one family and thousands that is facing this.
Hundreds of thousands, Kim, and you really said it poignantly. You also wrote, it's time to truly remember who we are. And you say this to the government, remember who you work for. You work for us. You work for my family, and I demand that you put us first. Stop the blame, stop the game of chicken, and reopen the government. You know, Kim, the point being, you know, we get it. Both sides have proven they won't flinch, but remember who you work for. Is that why you wrote this letter?
I think so. When the question was just listed there on the CNN page, what could you say to Congress and the president if you had a chance about the shutdown? And I thought, I've never done anything like this before. I'm not one to get heavily involved in political opinions and expressing my opinions. But again, you are now interfering with my family, with the safety and comfort that my children feel when they come home every day. We're not talking about just extra niceties and things to have, like PlayStations and things like that, but we're talking basic survival, and where are the next meals coming from, and our rent checks, and things that they've come that provide the foundation of a happy and secure home. And you're starting to interfere with that, and you're starting to mess with that, and at that point, it's crossing the lines. And I think both sides, if they want to prove their point and they want to say, I'm right and I'm right, okay, great. But the question I ask my sons all the time if they get into a fight is it better to be right or is it better to be nice? You know, when you can sit there and prove your point all you want and you can be right, but in the end, who are you hurting? And in my son's case, are you hurting your brother? Are you hurting your little brother or your big brother?
And in this case with
our government, are you hurting people?
Yeah.
Yes, you are. You're hurting real people and real families.
And you're one of those real people. Kim, we do appreciate you sharing your story. There are hundreds of thousands of people right beside you living paycheck to paycheck. We wish you all the very best. We'll continue to check in on your story. You take care, okay?
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.